Hello, it's Crafty Carol here again, Stampin' Up demonstrator in Northern Ireland with a card made with some of the new products because our mini catalogue is now live. And this is my prototype. I am going to change it for the one I'm going to make today, but it's it floats. It has a floating diamond in the middle, if you can see that. And I've used these glorious gems that are part. I'll show you what I've used. Let's go to there, and then I'll tell you why I think that's wrong. I'm using the Stars at Night set, and it comes as a bundle with wonderful dies of lots of different stars and an embossing folder. And some of the dies, this die here fits these stars, so you can actually use this as it's a hybrid embossing folder, so it die cuts and it embosses. So I've used those. And I've also used some of these lovely adhesive back star trinkets. Anyway, little stars, and they're really nice. And for the paper, oh, I fell in love with this. This is the Shining Brightly 12 by 12. And it's just glorious. It's gold and very vanilla. So you've got 3 different types of blue. I don't know where the third one's gone. I seem to have lost that. And same with, oh, there it is. And then the same in the very vanilla, the same patterns. So lovely leaf pattern, a sort of tile pattern, Moroccan tiley pattern, and the stars. And it's the stars paper I've used quite a lot of. So that is what I've used in the new mini catalogue. If you go to my website, there's a link where you can actually see that catalogue. So I made this is my prototype, but I'm not happy with it. And I'm not happy with it because I don't really like this. I don't know why I chose that paper. I don't know, it just looks too bright against this. I embossed the Merry Christmas, and then I cut out that particular star from some gold shimmer paper. It's retired, but there is some new gold shimmer paper in the online exclusives, so go and see that. And it's adhesive, which is even better. I've had to stick that on, so I did that. And here's my big mistake: I used basic white on the back, even though this is very vanilla paper. So that was really stupid. So not entirely happy with my prototype. So I'm going to make this one slightly different. So I've already stamped the piece for the back, which I've done this time in very vanilla, so it matches. So that's my piece to the back. So let me go through the bits you need for the card. First of all, you need your base card, which is 21 by 14.8. So that's your base card. And then you need 2 pieces of DSP to fit on. And this one is 10 by 14.3, and this piece is 4.5 by 14.3, because we're going to fold this. The other bits you need are, one large diamond, which is, I've cut them this way round actually, because this time I'm going to put my Night of Navy on top of my very vanilla. So the large diamond is 6 centimeters square. The layer, so you can use DSP or whatever you want, is 5.5 square. And then you have 2 smaller diamonds, and these are 5 centimeters square, each of them. And the layers to go on top are 4.5 centimeters square. So those are the bits you need. You also need, if you want to put a star on, you need to die cut your star using the lovely Stars at Night dies. So that's going to go on my main piece there. I've already cut out, because I'm going to make it in the same style, I've actually embossed Merry Christmas in gold on very vanilla. So I'm going to use that across one of these for the front of the card. And then you need a strip for the mechanism. And the strip for the mechanism needs to be approximately 2.5, the depth isn't quite so important, by 9 centimeters. And we're going to fold those. So let me go through the folds we're going to make. Without destroying my desk, I should bring in my trusty paper trimmer. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to check. Yes, it is. It looked a bit too wide for some reason. Anyway, this is our normal base card. And as normal, we're going to use the the scoring blade in the trimmer to score at 10.5 centimetres. And then we need to score at half that, which is 5.25. So it basically needs to go between the little tiny marks on the trimmer there. So it's 2 and a bit down from 5.5, if you like. So there we're going to do our second crease. So we've got a double fold there. I'll show you how we fold it in a minute. But while I've got this out, losing that bit, this is our approximately 2.5 by 9 piece, and this we want to score again in the middle at 4.5, and then from each end we're going to score 2.3. So I'm going to use this side of the trimmer, and I'm going to go 2.2 on time, going 2.2, yes, 2.2 in from each end. So that's the first end, and that is the second end. And that's our mechanism piece for the central diamond. So this piece is going to, the 2 end bits are going to fold in. That should be even, why isn't it? There we go. And when you fold these in, and then fold it in half as well, there we go. So those are the folds you want. Crease those really well, because that's the mechanism. And when these fold in, you don't want them to join in the middle. Can you see there? I've got a gap. They're not, we don't want these 2 bits to brush against each other. So make sure you've got a small gap there, which I have got. I can put that crease down. You can hopefully see it if I bring it towards the camera. Can you see there's just a tiny gap in the middle there? So those 2 ends don't touch where it bends in the middle. So that's our mechanism. These are all our other bits, so let's put the card together. So the first thing we're going to do is fold the card in half, like normal. Let's get my bone folder so we can have really good creases on here. And then the second fold is so that we can fold that bit back. So we have a fold looking like that, okay? Then we're going to stick on our pieces of DSP. This is glorious. I'm going to have to buy packs of it because I'm using so much of this. I've nearly used a whole sheet so far. Wonderful. It's only single-sided because it's a specialty DSP, so it's got the gold in it. So there's no second side on this, so just put that in there. There's no up and down on this piece either, because all the little stars are even, so it doesn't really matter which way up it goes, which is lovely because you can't get it wrong, which is great from my point of view because I'm very good at putting things on upside down. So let's put these together. So the second piece of DSP, as I said, that's 4.5 by 14.3, goes on the front panel and it goes in the middle. Carol, not to one side, there we go. So that's our basic card put together. Now the next thing I'm going to stick in is the mechanism, and this is going to stick in across the fold in the middle. Okay, so the best thing to do is first of all to check it's roughly in the middle, so I can make a little pencil mark. So we're going to go roughly 7.5, so it needs to be about there. So where has my pencil gone? Okay, I might have to just wing it because I can't find my pencil. I would have made a little pencil mark to show where I wanted it to go. I have lost my pencil, that's really bad. Don't know where it's gone. It was here a minute ago because I used it before. Oh, there it is, on the other side of the desk. So I'm just going to put a little pencil mark where I want it to go. Probably can't see that on the Night of Navy, but it is there. So I'm going to, might use tape actually. It's not a bad idea to use some Stampin' Seal because you really want this to stick down. So I'm going to use some Stampin' Seal on both of these flaps. Let's cover that one. Okay, make sure that's even. And then lining it up with my pencil marks and with the central fold needs to match with the center line of the card. So press that down. So these little pencil lines I can now rub out. Could leave them because nobody's going to see them there, but just for completeness I'm going to rub them out so they're not there, which is best. And there's our mechanism, okay? So you can see why it's important that these two don't touch, because if they touched you would feel it and see it if you close the card. So you need that little tiny gap. don't know if you can see that little tiny gap between the two sides there, but that's what you want. So that's our mechanism. So it remains just to put these together. Now I did, as I say, I'm doing it this way around with a border of Very Vanilla and a Night of Navy diamond. And I've actually embossed these. I don't know if you can see the embossing, but I've used the Stars at Night embossing folder. But obviously these are going on as diamonds, so point up and down. So I wanted to make sure when I put them in the embossing folder, which is actually sideways on, I made sure I put them in so that the, I don't know where I put that one actually. I can try and find the cuts. Oh, there. That's where I put it on. So you want to try and fit these, no it isn't, like that, there we go. You want to try and put these on diagonally. Can't work out quite well. I did one down here and one over here, something like that. But you want them to be on that way round. Don't do it that way because the stars won't look right. They need to look up and down. Yeah? Does that make sense? I hope so. Right, so let's put these together. So we're just going to stick all the bits together. So we stick the blue diamonds onto our matted Very Vanilla layers. I'll go back to using some Tombow, I think. There we go, there's one. Can't get things straight this evening, don't know why. Crazy. And there's our second one. And then I'm going to stick this big one onto our big piece in here. Now these are square, so it doesn't matter which way around you stick it, as long as when we stick them on here, we've got them the right way round. So that's our stars up and down. That's a star up and down, which I think I'll have that way round. So that's how I'm going to put my stars together. So my die cut star, I'm going to put in the center of here. Now I can't put it on dimensionals because otherwise the card won't close. These have to stick on flat, so do get that correct. So I'm going to have that in the middle here. Just hold that down a bit. Obviously, if you get the one that's in the online exclusives, it is adhesive, so you don't need glue on it. Wow. Really looking forward to getting some of that. And I'm also going to stick that on there, but I can use a dimensional for that. As long as I don't want, if I can find my dimensionals, as long as I don't want the card, I don't want the card to be too deep, but it should be all right with a dimensional too on there. There we go. And I will have it on that one because it's got a bit of a gap with all the stars around it. I'm putting it across the gap so it's covered in the embossed stars around, if you can see that. And then we've got to put the card together. So we're going to start off by putting these pieces on, and these basically meet in the middle, okay? So I've done them a slightly different size than before. So making sure I've turned them over, I want to only put glue on the side that's going to stick. So we only want glue on this side, so I don't want to go across the centre, because I don't want glue to leak out. So just put the glue on the half. And this is the one I want at the top. So I'm going to place that right at the top, making sure the points line up. Yeah, ooh, just move over a bit, there we go. Making sure the points line up. Oh, I've just lent on that one. Tell you, I'm a messy crafter, what can I say? Put a bit of extra glue on because it's on my finger now instead. And this one will meet at the bottom. So I'm going to put the point at the bottom and bring the point there. So there's a little tiny gap in the middle, but that's fine. So those are the front diamonds on. So now we need to put this on. And before you stick it down, try it out. Because when that is going to stick to here, okay? It's sticking to this panel here. So I don't want to stick it down yet because I want to check that when this mechanism, just bent my mechanism, there we go. When this mechanism closes, I don't want this bit to stick out over. So I'm going to place it where it'll stick and just check that this point isn't coming off the edge of the card. And that's brilliant because that point is exactly on the edge of the card, which is where I want it. So now I can stick this down, and again, we're only sticking it to this panel, this left-hand panel of the mechanism, and we're sticking it, it's a diamond, so we need to stick it in like that. If your panel does stick out over the side here, you can just trim off this little, I'll show you because I'll do it on here to show you, just take a tiny, tiny bit off the corner of that panel so that when it sits on here and sticks, just hold it in place there, make sure it's stuck so you can see it. It's not going to stick, let's just try it, try and place it down, there we go. Making sure it's right in the middle, press it down, that should stick. And there we have, there, and I have taken a little tiny bit off that edge, as you can just see there. I'm going to pull it out a little bit, it shouldn't be that far in. There we go, that's better. Stick that down, that's it. There we have it, and you can see the edge is just over the, you know, just right to the edge of the card, which is perfect. So there we have our little floating diamonds card. I don't know what we're going to call it. Floating diamond card? I think so. I'll call it a floating diamond card. I did get the idea. I got the idea from some notes I wrote ages ago of somebody, and I can't remember who, so apologies to the person who first thought of the idea of the card. But she'd done a 5x8 card, so I wanted to do an ordinary sized card, which I have done. So it just remains to stick the bit on the back. Obviously you could, I suppose you could write in here somewhere, but it would get in the way. I don't like the idea of that. So I decided it was best to have the panel on the back. So I'll just stick that on to finish the card, and then we'll put a few gems on, and Bob's your uncle. So it's a nice quick card to make once you've got all your bits ready. But it's another fun fold, and I do like a fun fold, as you know. So there's my piece on the back, this time in the correct colour, not basic white. Can't believe I made that. And I think just to finish, we'll have a few of these trinkets, I don't know what to call them. Anyway, they're beautiful, beautiful stars, yeah. So we'll have a few of those dotted around, because I find with this paper, they just fit in the gaps. So I'm going to put one at the top there. Obviously I can't put any this side because I don't want it to get in the way of the mechanism, but I can have a couple on there, and I think we'll have one on this piece here. There we go. That isn't quite straight, so I'll have to have that not quite straight. There we go. So there is my floating diamond Christmas card, made with the most gorgeous sets that are part of the catalogue. Here's the bundle. The Stars at Night polymer stamp set, and I've used the Wishing You the Best and Brightest Holiday Season at the back here. I've used these little stars, just stamped to add a little bit of interest to there. And I've obviously used the dies to cut out the star, this one for the centre this time, and I've used the embossing folder on there. So I've used the whole bit, which is really nice. Plus I've used these glorious trinkets that come. So I hope you enjoyed that. I do hope you have a go at this card, because it's quite fun, and I want somebody to do it. I must show you this ribbon. Look at this ribbon. Isn't it just beautiful? I was going to ignore my dirty fingers, but it's gorgeous. It's got all these beautiful gold bits in it, but I don't know. I was thinking of having a bit down here, but I think it takes away from the card, so I didn't use it in the end, but I will certainly be using that in future cards. So I hope you enjoyed that. Don't forget to stamp your envelopes. I've just used the stars, the little star cluster there on the envelope. So there is my card made with the Stars at Night bundle. Do go to the website, and if you go there you'll find all the instructions and all the measurements written out if you didn't get a chance to copy them down on the video. And you can also sign up for my emails and get yourself a free gift as well, and then you'll find out everything I'm doing and what's going on in my Stampin' Up world. Thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.